She stood in the doorway, eyes wide with a hunger that no small town could feed. He filled the room before he even spoke. She wrote years later, her pen trembling over the page. Not just tall, massive, like the world rearranged itself around him. That single line would become the heartbeat of her unfinished story. A confession spilled in the quiet hours before everything ended. Born on a frozen New Year's Day in 1919, she arrived into a house already stretched thin. 5 kids, 1 mother, no father in sight. Poverty wasn't a visitor, it was family. But even as a child, she carried a spark that refused to dim. While other girls dreamed of marriage and quiet porches, she pictured lights, cameras, applause. At 15, she left school, kissed her mother goodbye, and thumbed rides west until the Pacific glittered ahead like a promise. San Francisco swallowed her first. Nights on tiny stages, singing for tips, dancing until her feet bled. Talent scouts noticed the glow, the way heads turned when she smiled. By 17, she was in Hollywood, clutching a contract that felt heavier than gold. Bit parts, uncredited glances, but she worked like someone running from fire. Directors saw the effort. Audiences saw the magic. Soon the nickname stuck, the girl with the curves that stopped conversations. Her first big picture cast her in scraps of fur against a painted sky, and overnight the world knew her face, yet every flashbulb reminded her she was scenery. She wanted lines that cut deep, characters with scars. She begged for them, fought for them. When the war came, she found a stage bigger than any studio lot. She crossed oceans to sing for boys who hadn't seen home in years. Jungle camps, desert airstrips, she brought laughter, letters, lipstick prints on envelopes. Soldiers wrote her name on bombs and prayed it would carry them safely back. They called her their blonde lifeline. If this story stirs something in you, share it now. Let her courage travel further than she ever could. Love, though, was the role she could never quite play. 5 times she walked aisles, 5 times she walked away. The first at 15, too young, annulled before the ink dried. Months later, she tried again with the same boy, 16 now and stubborn. He cheered her early auditions, but fame pulled her one way, ordinary life another. They parted with kindness and regret. The second husband offered yachts and silk, but not freedom. The third wore captain's bars and flew into storms. Distance did the rest. The fourth seemed perfect money, culture, adoration, but perfection cracked under the weight of her restless heart. Each ending left her more certain that love was a script written for someone else. Then came the Englishman. Polished accent, razor wit, married to someone famous. They met under blackout curtains, entertained troops between air raids. One look and the room tilted. He quoted poetry. She quoted longing. Stolen nights in borrowed flats, promises whispered against skin. Leave her, she begged in letters she never mailed. He smiled, kissed her forehead, and went home to his wife. The gossip columns sniffed blood. Her phone stopped ringing. Rolls dried up. She wrote it all down, every caress, every cruelty, because paper couldn't lie. I gave him my pride, she scrawled, and he handed it back in pieces. Friends watched her fade, smile thinning, eyes turning inward. On a July evening in 1948, after dinner with the man who'd never choose her, she locked the door, swallowed the pills, and signed a note to her mother. Your baby. Tell them I love them. The coroner closed the file. The studios mourned with press releases, but the pages she left behind refused to stay quiet. They speak of a woman who burned too brightly for the world she was given, who loved without safety nets and paid in full. Her films still flicker on late-night screens. Her voice still echoes in the letters soldiers kept. And somewhere in the space a massive man once occupied, her confession lingers. For a little while, I knew what it was to feel alive. If her truth moved you, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and pass this on. Let the girl from the frozen porch remind us all dreams cost. Love costs more, but silence costs everything.